Welcome back to the streets of Adelaide for Really Rubbish Racing v Australicars. We had a terrific first race in which we almost had a three-way battle for the lead, but we had high drama with just a few laps to go. Tom, if any race to do, is going to be great if race one is anything to go by.
Yes, certainly is there, Nick. I'm really looking forward to this 20-minute sprint. 2 mile circuit, of course, as we mentioned, 16 laps, just over half, or just under half the distance for race one, 14 turns and 20 cars taking to the grid for the second race then. And event 4 out of 8, we're on, of course, round 7 of 14 at Adelaide. Really looking forward to this, where drivers will, of course, be pushing the limits with the limited time they will have available to overtake and claim their points or victories or podiums or whatever they're going to do. But the championship standings going into the race, Nick.
Yeah, Sam increases lead now. It's 27 points rather. See, I still can't count. But it might as well be 37 points the way his championship is going. He just seems to be extending his lead race after race. So RlyR desperately needs to win this one to claw some back and maybe hope for something to happen to Sam, really, to take a good chunk of points out of him.
Maybe so. Or, incidentally, 23 points actually, not 27.
Oh god, yeah. I'll give up.
I wouldn't give up. You're far too good for that. Anyway, we're waiting for the cars to line up on the grid for the race. Then the grandstands are packed, the camera shutters are going off, and we're waiting then as the cars launch on towards the grid then for race 2 here at Adelaide. We're down under again for the V8 Australicars Championship. On board then with a driver there further back on the field. We're not going to start the race on board with them, are we? No, we're not. Anyway then, the cars line up on the grid. 5 lights coming on. Harani on the left, Price-Harper on the right. We're waiting then for the lights to go on. They're green now. It's go. It's a great start then from Harani. Price-Harper then slightly bogged down in towards the centre chicane. They go heading into turn 1, and it's Harani who's got the whole shot. RlyR there missing the chicane, and I think that's Tom Benningham who's very up into third there, and oh dear, incident at turn 1. Matt Davies caught up, as you mentioned, but it's Harani who leads the way ahead of Price-Harper. Third position for Bellingham, 4th for Lee Harrison. RlyR there in 5th, and also Bjorn Golder and Dan Thorne, it is your right, going around there for the Independables. He is managing to carry on though, but towards the back of the field he will be. In towards the right-hander they go again. Pete Walker there, he's had a great start, but Bjorn Golder though makes a terrible one, spinning round on the opening lap of 16 and managing to keep the engine running and hopefully managing to carry on through. But Price-Harper though absolutely harassing Harani though as they come onto the Brabham straight once again.
Yeah, and look at Dave Morley there. He's just a few more into the...
Oh, it's Woolard into the barrier as well. Dear oh dear, Craig Woolard into the barrier. Tom Kowalski challenging up the inside of Dan Thorne, and Dan Thorne goes very deep into the hairpin. Is Kowalski going to have the traction on the very cold tyres he'll have at the moment? No, he doesn't. No, and has the outside line, but he's going to have the inside line into the right-hander. But Dan Thorne there firmly shuts the door. And don't forget, of course, about Campbell Wallace very close behind there as well. But it's Harani leading the way. Very close behind him is Price-Harper, Tom Benningham in 3rd, as that's Dave Morley spinning off in the background. Dear oh dear, another torrid start to the race for Dave Morley then. Looking at the winners and losers off the start, it's Woolard who made up quite a few positions, up 5 places. Meanwhile, it's that's Golder down 13 places off the start. Dear oh dear, the spin there at turn 3, I believe it was, really not helping the case for the German driver.
No, well, Price-Harper waited 25 laps last time round to get ahead, but he's really not wasting any time now. He's straight onto Harani, Brown on back of him. Lee Harrison there trying to get that podium position away from Tom Bellingham. As we've seen so often threatening, he's been in this position before, but never managed yet to finish the race in this position this season. So let's see if he can do it this time.
This is a cracking corner. I'm loving this more and more each time we go through it then, Nick. So it's a great way to get
Harrison's going to lunge down the inside and he's spun.
Oh, locks the rears and he's saved. Goodness gracious, he's just saved there by Bellingham's Holden. Thankfully he was there at the right time, otherwise we may have seen Harrison spinning the wrong way.
Yeah, well, Bellingham was in the right place to save him, but of course in the right place to benefit from that and retain that 3rd position. But RlyR is right behind him, so Lee Harrison's got to get a move on.
Certainly has the Defenders driver defending from the Junior Motorsports ahead, attacking the Independables. It's too many words for me to comprehend, but it's cracking racing.
And Power's behind, so there's a few more letters for you.
Oh, dear, oh dear, I'm going to be able to keep up in a minute. Sam Harani, though, leading the way just by a few tenths from Price-Harper. Price-Harper really confident on these cold tyres, and has got some cracking pace in these opening stages. We saw him absolutely very close behind Harani, but for the incident, of course, with RlyR in the closing stages of the race last time out for the endurance race at Adelaide. But yeah, he wasn't able to take advantage of that, but this might be his golden opportunity.
Yes, very rarely do we see Sam Harani harried so much in the opening laps, but Price-Harper's going for it now. Of course, we're not expecting to see any pit stops. These two went the whole race without stopping once, so they can surely manage 16, and they really are unleashing their pace. They're just leaving everyone else behind. Here's Alex Odell in 7th. He's got Pete Walker ahead of him 6th. Odell rarely finishes ahead of his teammate this season, so this is a battle for honour.
Certainly is. Pete Walker, though, has had some astonishing pace so far, it must be said. He's been crackingly on fire. Speaking of on fire, did you see the brakes glowing there into the hairpin, Nick?
Yeah, they really are on the ragged edge with these.
They certainly are. It's a great thing to watch, though. Look at them. They're fantastic. Watch those brakes glowing. We should have a night race. I reckon that's the next instalment for the V8 Australicars. We should have a night race, I reckon, and see the brakes glowing. Oh, dear, that's Price-Harper spinning round. Goodness gracious, he was going so well. Are they all going to manage to avoid him? Onto the straight once again they come, and they do. Goodness gracious, I'm so surprised at that. But Price-Harper, though, must have lit up the rear tyres just a bit too eager on the power, and that sends him spinning down the order into 7th place, as that's Dave Morley there, who spun, of course, on the opening lap. He is just...
Yeah, he was in the pit lane for some reason, so he must have suffered some damage.
Yeah, certainly must have done. Those brakes glowing ever again on Alex Odell's car, harassing his teammate with Price-Harper, though, easily got the pace on these two ahead of him at the moment, and he will surely be able to get past them. It's only a matter of time. Maybe he could take 2 in 1. That would be quite the move.
Certainly could, but it's not really going to have anywhere to go for these two.
Just my optimism,
almost
I
side
think.
by side, yeah.
Dear, oh dear.
He's got good slipstream now. He's not going to. Oh, he's not going to do what Campbell did. He's going to
not?
go for the inside.
Goodness
oh
gracious!
my
Oh,
good.
oh dear!
No.
Just had to back out of it at the last moment. That sends Alex Odell slightly into the wall, and Price-Harper, though, has to back off, of course, to not get ahead of him. Otherwise, that would have been an unfair position gained for Price-Harper. But needless to say, only a matter of time. Lap 4 out of 16. I can't believe how quickly this race is going by so far. Anyway, it's Harani, though, comfortably out in front as Pete Walker clips the barrier. Goodness gracious, that sends Harani, though. Price-Harper up the inside as that's. Oh dear, that's.
Oh no, that's
Tom
clumsy.
White into the side of Alex Odell, is it? No, sorry, Alex Odell. Tom Benny, I'm getting my words confused. It is 3 wide on.
And he's letting him back, and Odell as well. He's really benefited from that.
Odell up into 3rd place following the demise of his teammate and taking advantage of those ahead of him crashing out as well. Oh, it's Price-Harper going around again. We saw this in the last race, didn't we? Of course, he spun round and then kept on spinning and spinning and spinning. Such a shame for him. But, oh dear, we really do hope that Price-Harper manages to get things back underway. But the two Kybitsi Racing Team drivers, you cannot split them on track this season. And that's why, because look at that. Oh dear. Craig Woolard, close behind, looking though at a cracking instant, a cracking overtake between Neil Crawford and Campbell Wallace. Oh dear, a bit of a love tap between those two. No, he's not. And Campbell Wallace going into the back of them. Craig Woolard going into the back of them, and Matt Davies very close behind as well, and Crawford there, just a sitting duck as these two go around the outside. Oh no, dear, Neil Crawford there, just spinning things round, not what he wanted to do. Tom White though up the inside of Joe Nathan, is going to be able to make the move stick. No, he's not, and Joe Nathan defends his position for another day in that corner there. So through the left-hander they go, and managing to do very well. Lap 5 out of 16 are on board then with Tom White, a matching paint scheme to his on his helmet to his car, and he's got some cracking pace at the moment then. Looking at the current positions, Harani out in front ahead of Harrison, Odell in 3rd position, Knight in 4th, Pete Walker in 5th, Joe Nathan in 6th, and that is Tom White in 7th, of course, who we're on board with now, Aprilton in 8th, Tom Bellingham in 9th, and James Price-Harper in 10th.
Tell you, some of those cars are getting ever closer to that wall on the inside of Turbo 1, and I think we're going to see a few more into the wall before this race is over.
We certainly might do. Oh no, it's into the back of Joe Nathan. There goes Tom White, not what he will have wanted to do. Spins him round. Goodness gracious me, look at that. Oh, Price-Harper there, very lucky not to get caught up in it. Oh, is the Impendables driver? Yes, he is. God dear, my heart was in my mouth
down
there.
the inside.
Oh no,
no.
manages to collect him there. Dear, oh dear, just unsighted there, I think, was Tom White. Didn't really know that Tom Bellingham was there, and that sent him into the side of him and down the order without a front bumper as well, just for good measure. So down into 13th place as Tom Bellingham.
I think it's Bellingham. Yeah, he's
getting his comeuppance, I think, was what would happen there. Not Bellingham's fault that incident, of course. I don't think that Tom White was very aware that Bellingham was up the inside of him.
No, not at all, and both of them have really...
Without a front bumper as well, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, no, oh, Bellingham straight in the back.
Wow.
What a clout he took there, goodness.
He really knows how to crash his cars, doesn't he?
He really does, honestly, he's better than me. Looking at that, into the hairpin they go. And it's the battle of the lost bumpers. Who's going to get into the pit lane first? These guys are battling for position, as perverse as it sounds, and they're slowing it down now into the final part of the lap. But Bellingham, though, the race to the pit lane ensues onwards. Tom White just behind for the junior motorsports team, but Tom Bellingham isn't going to be able to slow it up. No, he's not.
No, he's going to miss the pit pit lane if he's not careful.
He's going to come onto the force of, oh dear, just manages to sort of avoid what one of the drivers did last time out in race 1.
Yes, I think it was when Odell decided to come straight
Let's
in.
have a look then.
Oh,
Goodness gracious me, what an impact that was. What a cloud. Good thing you can't feel the damage on these things. You can just feel a bit of feedback through your steering wheel.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's lucky he's still going, really. I mean, the front ends of these cars must be superbly strong, because the engine, of course, is right in front, so you assume any kind of front end on collision is going to destroy the engine, but no, they're still going, and here's Odell still in third position.
But clips the barrier, and that's going to let Tom Knight, Ollie Knight rather, there we are, getting it right up the inside into Foster's corner. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? Maybe so. Into the final corner they come then, and out breaks him side by side. These two are coming onto the max straight once again, halfway through the race. Great racing between those two, getting the back end out on both cars there, but Ollie Knight reigns supreme, number 21, up into third position ahead of Alex Odell.
Well, I thought Odell was going to hang around the outside and lift fight another day. Oh, he's getting very scribbly through there and almost into both walls, really. Very lucky just to keep it on the straight and narrow, but you can see he's had great braking power this race, Alex Odell, so he might have a chance to reclaim position into the hairpin.
Yes, certainly might do. Through the right-hander they come of Wakefield Corner, then into East Terrace and Flinders Street. Some great names of corners. I think they are just literally named after the streets that they are of course based on. So there you go, bit of history for you. Anyway, getting back to it, the on-board action. April Linen we're currently on board with number 315, just behind Pete Walker of the power team. On the back straight they come, Brabham straight once again, yellow flag on screen as well. I wonder what that's all about. We'll have to wait and see what the incident's about, but needless to say, no overtaking in one area. Price-Harper though very close behind. April Linen though up the outside of Pete Walker into the hairpin. Is she going to be able to make move sticks? Got some great traction though outside of there, using all the track, and some she shouldn't. Into the left-hander they go, but eventually has to concede the position. Look at that! Fantastic! Ever the opportunities into the left-hander, manages to get around the outside of April Linen up into sixth position. Great overtaking, and ever the opportunist is the offender's driver.
Yeah, that was certainly very brave. April Dillon seemed to sort of not even notice he was there, really, because she was going very slowly for those few corners, and I think that's Craig Woolard coming out of the pits there. No, not too, just slightly getting out of the way there. And now James Price-Harper's right on the back of Pete Walker, hunting him down. Surely only a amount of time before he can overtake him, but Pete Walker, very wise head, it's not going to be an easy job.
He's a very good defender, isn't he, Walker? It must be said, despite driving for the power team. But he is he's very good at defending, is Walker, so he knows where to position his car, knows how to position his car, and will likely be sort of slowing it on the apex and just slowing Price-Harper down whilst, of course, Walker manages to get the superior traction out. But look at this, my favourite shot of the race so far. The power driver, Pete Walker, then in 5th place, number 71 on this car. Of course, won the second race at Hayden Valley in round 1 of the V8 Australicars series, so he certainly knows how to drive these cars.
Yes, he does, and it's just ran a little bit wild there, but James Price-Harper won't really have anywhere to go at the moment. He's just clambering all over the back of him, seeing if he can find any kind of opening in which he can insert his car into, but Pete Walker just keeping it all on a straight and narrow for the most part, and it's going to be very hard for him to get by, although he's running very close to him for his final corners. And is he going to try for a switchback here?
No, I don't think he's going to be close enough. I don't think he'll have the traction. No, look, getting very squirrely out of there, but he's got a great run then on the main straight once again, heading towards the centre chicane. Is he going to launch a move up the inside? This will be inspired if he does. Look at this. Oh, bit of contact between the two. They come to blows, but they manage to keep it going. Fantastic. Pete Walker there and James Price-Harper. Goodness gracious me, I really thought one of them was going to end up in the barrier or spinning the other way around. But look at that, no holds barred between the two. It's like BTCC racing this.
Yeah, well, when I saw him make that move, I just had visions of crashing and dooming, but somehow both cars, superb racing by these two drivers, managing to keep it together and just use whatever bit of track there was just all car on it. There was just no space whatsoever.
No, certainly not. Sam Varani currently out in front, then Lee Harrison in 2nd, Ollie Knight in 3rd, Alex Odell currently in 4th, with Pete Walker, who we're looking at in 5th position, being challenged by James Price-Harper. He's on the Brabham straight. This is his best chance yet. Towards the outside, Pete Walker goes defensive. Don't forget about April Dillon, very close behind as well. And Price-Harper, though, gets superlative traction out of there, and April Dillon is going to be able to take advantage of it as well. Look at that. Oh, Pete Walker going to lose 2 positions in 2 corners. Is he? No, not quite. But Price-Harper then gets ahead finally of Pete Walker, and April Dillon there is only a matter of time surely before the Howler Racing driver is able to get past the number 71.
Yeah, these are the two drivers really have impressed me most this season. Very consistent drivers, also very fast when they need to be. Dylan here, of course, is still third in the championship. James Price-Harper is the one chasing her, who's currently in fourth position. So, just almost gets unsettled, yeah.
Dear oh dear, that's very close quarters between these two, and displaying that April Dillon certainly is not easing off. But Sam Harani then leads it about 4.5 seconds ahead of Lee Harrison, and Ollie Knight in third, Alex O'Dell fourth, Price-Harper fifth. Pete Walker then in sixth position, demoted, being chased down by April Dillon, who clips the wall. No, dear, the female driver currently sitting third position in the standings, spins around, clips the barrier. Goodness gracious me, on lap 11. Let's have a look at the replay then of the incident. Pete Walker just ahead of her, clips the barrier on the inside. Oh dear, just did what Tom Bellingham did, but to a lesser extent in race 1.
Yeah, chance to let by this Craig Willard lap down thinks that wasn't a position loss. Here's Dan Thorne, 10th position, doing quite well. Of course, we said that last time we end up retiring from the race, but he's got Tom Kowalski ahead of him. I assume this is for position.
But Kowalski, though, having a cracking run. We saw him have a bit of a torrid time out.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's got the front bumper. Goodness gracious, that's why he managed to get past so easy, did Dan Thorne. Tom Kowalski then down to 11th place now, surely, as Ben Hamilton spins onto the braking and just manages to avoid. Dear, oh dear. What was he thinking? Oh, dear. Anyway, Lee Harrison then, let's have a look at this. He's just running a bit wide. Does he get the barrier? Goodness gracious me. I don't think my vocal cords have got any more range. And I think smashed a bit of glass there. But aside from that, I think he managed to carry on and live another day. But very, very lucky not to suffer more damage than he did.
Yeah, and he's lost position out there, so he's now been third position. It's Neil Crawford now in 12th. Chasing Matt Davies, who's doing really well, 11th position. It's not really somewhere we often see him because, well, he's not often in these races. He's commuting from Spain, so he's not always able to make it to them, but he's running superbly well.
Yeah, the number 85 we're looking at, the PSP Motorsports driver, doing very, very well. A sterling job. But Neil Crawford, needless to say, he's got some cracking pace at the moment as well. You couldn't split Campbell and, of course, Neil Crawford in race 1, the two Kaibitsu drivers. They were absolutely neck and neck until an incident. But needless to say, they're a bit further apart in this race. Wallace not having the drive that he would have wished at the moment. He will hope to have been a bit. Well, I suppose
Hamilton's in the wall again.
Yeah, dear oh dear. He's got magnets onto that wall, I think. The Fire Cruiser racing driver just clipping the wall there. As James Price-Harper, he's going to go into the barrier. Surely he's locked his rears. Spins it round. Thank goodness for the runoff area there. What on earth happened? The number 78 down into 6th position. What on earth happened there? Dear oh dear. Just locked his brakes, maybe caught a bit of the grass. Anything could happen. Let's have a look at the replay then. Through the right-hander he goes. Oh, just ran it wide.
Too wide,
and just couldn't slow the car down. He's braking, he's slowing down, and the rear's locked. And he was so lucky not to go into the barrier, getting a bit of gravel in his car as well.
Never rains but it pours with James Price-Harper. Often we've seen quite a few times this season already. He makes one mistake and then just keep on coming.
A driver, though, who hasn't made mistakes is the person we're on board with now. Sam Harani, the number 1 on his car, number 1 in the race as well. He is doing a cracking job. Just 3 laps remaining of this 20-minute assault, and it looks to be his, as that is one of the Kaibitsu racing drivers. I think that might be Crawford that's spun round. Ollie Knight, though, in 2nd position. Oh dear, coming up towards that Kaibitsu driver who manages to get out of the way. Very nicely done from them. So displaying that they certainly know how to get out of the way of traffic coming through. Anyway, Ollie Knight, though, having a good run. Though another lonely race. Who's that off? That's Harani off! Oh my goodness, wow. The offender's driver off in the final quarter, the number 1 on his car. And dear oh dear, I think he might have done what Price-Harper did. Just clip the grass. And let's have a look then. Is it going to be a repeat? Clips the apex and does exactly the same thing. Oh dear, the offenders. Oh, it's gone from bad to worse in 2 laps. Oh, Ollie Knight then leads the race with 3 laps to go. The junior motorsports driver is once again out in front.
Wow, well, what a development. Looked like Harani was going to take another victory and extend his championship lead even more. It's just what Ollie Knight needed now.
On board then with Pete Walker of the Power Team. He's not doing too badly at all. 5th position, he'll be comfortable and probably happy with that as well. Alex O'Dell also not doing too badly at all, really. For the team, but Ollie Knight then leads it from Sam Harani after that incident on the final lap that we just saw. And O'Dell, that's O'Dell spinning round 6th position. He goes down into, and he's going to be very lucky not to have the Howler racing car going past, and he's clipped the barrier again. Goodness gracious, he's got some damage to his car, maybe some suspension damage where he hit the barrier. It's a possibility, you never do know. But Pete Walker then up into 4th place. Is that Price-Harper into the barrier again?
I think that is. He's just struggling all the time now.
Certainly is, struggling with maybe some grip, maybe some loss of downforce. I don't know, maybe he's suffering from that brake issue we saw at Eastern Creek. You never do know. That's the thing. Of course, we won't know until the end of the race. But anyway, it's all gone from bad to worse for the offenders. So Harani, of course, spinning out of the lead of the race last time out. But anyway, just a lap now remaining almost for the drivers, and that then we're on board with James Price-Harper then, who is really trying to harass Pete Walker then for 5th place. Surely he's just damage limitation for Price-Harper at the moment, just trying to get the as many points as he can on the board. He's not yet...
Walker clipped the inside wall then, that's allowed Price-Harper just getting a little bit on him.
Yeah, certainly has. He's got the momentum as Price-Harper, though, locking the rears into the right-hander of
no,
Wakefield. Oh,
James.
dear, oh dear. As you say, it never rains but it pours for Price-Harper, number 78, spinning down the order. We saw this, as I mentioned, at Hidden Valley. He has one off and then just sort of spins and sort of sets the tone for the race, unfortunately. But it's not what we want to see. Price-Harper, though, having a bit of a torrid time with these cars. Next season, I think he'll be glad for a bit of a change of machinery. That's Ollie Knight without a... Tom White without a front bumper, rather, I should say. I should be reacting a lot more if it was Ollie Knight without a front bumper. Of course, he's leading the race.
Yes, it looks like he's just going to carry on. There's only got 2 more laps, so he might as well try and carry on to the end instead of pitting. Can't lose too much time unless you're, if you're going to be very careful about it, then you can just get away with it. Now Harani is onto the final lap. Knight looks a bit too far ahead unless something dramatic happens to him as well.
I really thought he'd be further back than that, so Harani, though, really has been pushing in these past couple of laps. Ollie Knight, though, goes very deep into the brakes, into Wakefield. Is he going to be able to make the corner? Yes, he does. Oh, he really twitched and went very deep under braking there. I was wondering if he'd be able to make the corner. Yellow flag as well we're seeing on screen. Not entirely sure what that's all about. We'll wait to hear or wait to see on track what on earth is going on there. But Harani, though, pushing for all his might. Are we going to see a last lap recovery from Harani to take the victory? I think he's just a bit too far behind onto the back straight. Had a bit of a bad exit out of that corner there, and that's going to hinder his progress on the Brabham straight again. So not what Harani would have needed. This was his one and only opportunity really to get past. And needless to say, it looks to be sewn up for Knight. But I have to say, though, he's very close to the braking zone. If Knight duffed his braking zone up there, Harani would be all over him like a scolded cat.
Yes, and of course we've seen 2 cars already come out from the final corner onto the grass, so it's still not by any means over. And Ollie Knight just got to keep it straight now, but Harani's ever close and he's got his lights on, so that's going to be intimidating Ollie Knight. But he's just hold on, and he's very, very close.
Oh, and he spins at the final corner. Goodness gracious me. So Sam Harani spins from 2nd place, just manages to recover, but Ollie Knight takes the victory then. The 2nd race here at Adelaide, he wins it, the junior motorsports driver. Sam Harani then comes into 2nd place for the offenders and manages to recover his race and get some valuable points, 15 of them in fact, in the bag. Here we are then looking at the battle further down the order for 5th or 6th position, I believe it is. It's Pete Walker then who manages to reign supreme over his teammate, and James Price-Harper then very, very close behind in the offenders Holden as well. So, but it's Ollie Knight then who takes a well-deserved victory, the number 21, really demonstrating that he's got some pace and is able to drive his car to the maximum. The race results, please, Nick.
Yes, Ollie Knight wins eventually by 7 seconds, but of course he's a lot closer than that. Lee Harrison, 20 seconds behind, so that these 2 drivers were really in a class of their own. 2 power cars there, 4th, 5th. That's a great result for the team and help him in the team championship. Behind is Joe Nathan. Didn't see much from him, but very solid 7th place. Campbell Wallace in 8th. That was a great result for him.
It certainly was. The drivers yet to score at the back of the field. Who didn't score in the race, rather, I should say, at the back of the field. Also, shout out to Dan Thorne. Scored his first points of the season. So great result for him. But Sam Harani then leads the championship 18 points ahead of Ollie Knight then, the number 21 who took the victory, of course, as we saw. Apron in 3rd, James Price-Harper in 4th, Pete Walker in 5th. The only change on the board, Lee Harrison jumps Joe Nathan up into 7th place. As we mentioned, James Lambert there in 11th, he didn't compete this time out. Campbell Wallace and Neil Crawford, you can't separate them on track, nor can you separate them in the standings as well. Currently in 13th place. Dan Thorne there, 4 points on the board, up into 16th place. His championship start really does kick off here at event 4 out of 8 of the championship standings. The offenders, though, increase their lead over 200 points on the board, 201. Junior Motorsports, the nearest rivals, 135 for them. Power in 3rd with 117. Howler Racing in 4th with 73. The defenders, though, jump themselves up into 5th position, and then the teams yet to score on the field there, Nick.
Yeah, looks like the team championship is going to go the offenders' way this year. They're miles ahead.
They certainly are. So let's have a look then at some highlights of the race. The lights went out. It was a good start then from Hirani. Price-Harper, though, also got away very well. An incident at turn 1 saw Matt Davies spin round for the PSV Motorsports car and manages to recover. But Lee Harrison was on the attack straight away with Tom Bellingham going up the inside of him. James Price-Harper spun on and managed to recover his race relatively well. But aside from some incidents later on, which we'll have a look at in just a few moments, the drivers, though, skimming the wall. And look at this, 3 wide in towards turn 1. It was a cracking opportunist move from Alex O'Dell, who got up into 3rd place as Price-Harper spun again. The two Kaibitsu Racing Team drivers were absolutely inseparable, having a bit of contact there, and Craig Willard just caught up in the impact. That was battling for the final points paying positions. Tom White there spun Joe Nathan round, just a bit of misjudgment on his braking and not what he would have wanted, and also we saw him going off there later in the race as well. But look at this between Alex O'Dell and Ollie Knight there, very, very close between those two. April Dillon and also Pete Walker. Look at this, one of my favourite battles of the race.
Yeah, wow.
Cracking there between Pete Walker and, of course, James Price-Harper as well. Lee Harrison was very lucky to avoid the barriers, but it all went wrong for James Price-Harper, spinning out of 2nd place in the final corner on the penultimate lap of the race. But it was Ollie Knight, after Sam Hirani spun it out of the final corner, who took the victory for the Junior Motorsports team.